Hi everyone, I'm having one of those weeks where we're back on a bit of a, for us, role reversal. So Neil is off at work and I'm not at work, so I'm cooking. So I'll share a little bit of that with you. And I've got a very hopeful Rasha, hoping to get a dog treat here. So we'll say hello to Rasha. Hiya Rasha, how are you? Nom 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 nom. Rasha, you do like your dog treats, don't you? Hey, is that really nice? Yeah? What do I smell of? Not too sure myself. She can only have one. She'll get tubby. Anyway, so yes, I'm going to do kind of stew casserole. So I don't need it till later, but I'm just starting it off and then I'll pop it in the oven a bit later because I'm going to nip out in about an hour or so for a couple of hours and then come back. So I'm going to get that going. So I'm going to get the meat fried off first and then I'll pop in the onion and the other veg, get it all seasoned and then pop it in the casserole dish. They're ready to pop in the oven a little bit later on. Super. So that's started and on the way. So I've got my lovely beef and there's a bit of heart in there as well, just to try. So it's sizzling away nicely. So let that brown off. Now while that's browning, I'm going to chop up some of my veg and I'll put in some stock cubes, some garlic, some herbs, and a few bits of veg. But what I'll also do, now that I have my new herb garden, is I'll go and pick a little bit of herbs from the front to go in there as well. So I'll share that with you shortly. We'll just do a bit of chopping first. Oh. So that's the kettle boiling. I'm going to put a bit of gravy on once it's all done. Anyway. So that's all coming together nicely. So I've got my bits of veg in there. I'm just going to let that simmer for a little bit. All the flavours blend together. So put in a little bit of dried mixed herbs. But I'm also going to do a little mini forage outside and see what I can find out there to put into our lovely fresh stew. So things are moving fast now with my little plot. So these are the shallots. I did plant up some more garlic, which is doing better this time. There's a bit of lovage that went in recently. Got sage, there's some, oh, that's a weed. There's some marjoram and some, what's the other one? It'll come back to me. Anyway, that kind of thing. On the far side, you can see there's some thyme. Did I mention the sage? Yeah, so it's all coming along pretty well. And there's the rosemary's not quite so happy, but it's slowly getting settled in. And chives. So I'm going to pick a little bit of those to go in our dinner for later. Right, so that's ready to go in the oven, just in a very low, gentle heat until I get back from my little trip out. So there she is. Put some gravy over. And then into the oven for a long, slow bake. Good morning. It's some while later, so I left you at the point where the stew went in the oven, and then I had to go out for a couple of hours, and then I came back and Neil just come in a bit earlier than expected from work, very cold, wet and hungry, so we got served straight up. And long story short, it was all eaten. So you didn't get to see the final made stew, but it was really tasty. We all enjoyed it, and long story short, that's all that was left. So anyway, so I'll be cooking again tonight. Obviously I'm home for a few days now. Neil's working, so I will be cooking again later. I'm probably just going to do a fish pie this time. So I was having a sort out in the freezer. So rather than buying yet more and yet more stuff, it's a very common problem. You tend to pop things in the freezer, forget they're there, and I had a bit of a sort out in the freezer yesterday anyway. So we'll use up some of what we've got, then keep buying more food. And then one thing I found in the bottom, I thought it was some frozen beetroot. So I remember cooking down and freezing some beetroot last year, and it wasn't. It was cooked plums. So anyway, so it's not really Neil's thing, but so I did make a little crumble last night as well, which I did rather enjoy. So again, quite quick and easy to do in the air fryer. So just a normal crumble mix, and these little dishes I found quite handy for that. So yeah, so little so I had homemade plum crumble, and Neil had a bit of cheesecake with his. So yeah, Lee just had the stew. So yeah, so it went down quite well, and I had a nice little trip out for a couple of hours in the evening, and met up with some people. So hi to Mel and Phil. So nice to meet you in person. It was good fun. Yeah, so that was yesterday. So anyway, yeah, so I've got while I'm at home, I've had the car in the garage. There's a little bit of an issue with the suspension that needs fixing, so that's going to be done today. And then a bit later, we've hopefully got the electrician coming back in a couple of hours to change the light fittings for us. So that'll be great. It's just especially in winter, it was a little bit too dark down in the kitchen area, so we want to change the light fittings for more modern LED type lights. So yeah, so another job hopefully ticked off soon. And I've been doing a bit of work on the garden, although it's been raining quite a lot. So I'll do a little garden tour shortly as well. So I can show you where we're up to with that. Yeah. So that's it for now. But yeah, so yeah, no final shot of the stew because we were hungry and we ate it all, as you do. Right, so I haven't done a garden update for a while. The sun shines out, the garden's growing, and it has been raining, so the long awaited filling of the water butt is finally happening. Look at that. So that's helpful because obviously we're on as many people are, we're on a water meter, so it's not ideal having to use paid for water just to water the garden, and it's been very dry for the last few weeks. So yeah, it's good to have water again, at least some. So that's that. We have in the greenhouse, we have the first tomato setting. So these are the ones that are potted in clay pots, so to keep them well watered, but that seems to be working quite well. And we're getting fruit and not masses and masses of leaves like I normally get when I use grow bags. So whether it's a different climate or the different growing approach, but I'm happy that that's working quite well. These are the pickling cucumbers, which are shooting up nicely. So looking pretty good, happy with them. We know about Neil's sunflowers. And then, so these are my scented geraniums, looking very healthy. Quite pleased with them. I did get some more little plug plants that I picked up cheap. They've been potted on and they're coming along nicely. Just need a bit of a water. So they'll do fine. Oh. So perhaps not ideal watering them when it's so sunny, but anyway. And then a few little bits still to go in the garden at some point. I've got an idea for the Black Eye Susans, and then this was the basil bush coming along nicely. Parsley, which I've never managed to grow from seed, and that's a bit of lemon balm, still to find a home. That was my apricots that never germinated, sadly, so it's a bit of a fail. And then these with the so I started off these just mild chili peppers in January, in fact. At the time they took ages to germinate and hardly grew since, so they're growing more now. I need to pot those on actually, but I've got 3 more seedlings come up, so I've got another kind of chili pepper to start off as well, which I think I will do, but probably when I get back from I'm probably going to have a little trip away, so maybe after that. Anyway, yeah, so greenhouse update, and then I'll take you around the front. Right, jury's out on this one. Even though we've had lots of rain, there's still not that much water in the pond anymore. So it may just be evaporation or the fountain or so on, but as you notice, the fountain's not even working right at the moment. So I have ordered a pond liner to go underneath in the plastic base of the pond and see if that helps hold the water better. So again, we keep topping it up, but it still keeps going down, which says to me the water's got to be going somewhere. Anyway, so because we've got little aquatic things growing living in there now, and obviously I've got my watercress in there and the flag. So the watercress is still doing okay, but if it dries out it definitely won't do okay. It likes to be in water, hence the name. Anyway, so other little updates, let's have a look. So obviously things are moving on. So the GMs are dying back now. This is English marigolds, and they're looking lovely. I do love those marigolds. You can eat the rashes at it already. You can eat the flowers as well. We've got the oxeye daisies looking lovely. The aquilidras in flower now, as is the wild geranium. And what else have we got? We've got the first proper rose, looking lovely. And then it's just been so dry, unfortunately. The roses that I put down here started off well, however it's been a bit too hot and dry, so they're looking a bit sad at the moment. Hopefully they'll recover. I've got a mallow here that's coming on lovely, so that's the main things over here, I think. And then on the other side we've got, so these were a couple of the plants gifted by the lovely Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. So they're looking nice and cheerful in there. And then I've got other little pinks from previous years still starting to come and flower. And then on this border we've got the peony starting to die back. The lily taken off at pace now, so that was pretty spectacular last year as well. And then the lavender's starting to bud up into flower. And then down this side. So I've got another new Amanda plant, not in flower yet. Got a few little things that I put in last year are starting to come through. So it's the Rocking Robin. I think that has pink flowers as well. And some, I think, Coreopsis, that's making a recovery. So it's all looking pretty nice. So I've still got more weeding to do as ever. And then as I touched on this when I was picking things for our food, for tea. Oh, bumblebees are loving the comfrey. Oh, so anyway, so there's a lot in here now. It's getting quite busy. So I've got comfrey. Sorry, raspberries even. A bit of horseradish. What's it called? Chives. Some rosemary in there. I've got that's a kind of salvia, but it's like a blackcurrant flavour. We've got the mullein just about to come into flower. Got 3 of those looking fantastic. We've got salad burner. We've got thyme. That's one of my cucumber. Sorry, courgettes even. This is the red currant, and then there's a black currant on the other side. I've got sage in there. I'll just put borage in there. Got a little bit of alkanet. That's just a bit of a wild corn. I've got a couple of gooseberries on the gooseberry. That's my hypericum, and then I've got the Italian kale coming up. Got a bit more raspberry. Got lovage, and then on the other side is my garlic and my shallots, and then snug in the little corner there's some oregano and marjoram. So already looking quite busy. Oh, and there's I did put in Viper's bugloss. I don't know what it's like, but the name sounded fun, so I stuck that in. And then I've been doing some weeding with my new hoe, which is actually working quite well, but I've got more to do when I get a mow. And obviously got Neil's side down there, which I'm just letting Neil get on with. So these are just cell seeders from the soil, but I think they're looking quite pretty, so I'm going to keep mine. And there might be a poppy in there as well. Oh, I also spotted it's called like what's the name of it? It'll come to me in a minute. Like a wild pansy sort of thing anyway. So I'll keep that because they're so pretty. Yep, so been quite busy out here. There's still more to do as ever. That's my little garden update. So it's all happening today. So my car's down the garage and I'm in the process of getting new light fittings in the kitchen. So the old one is gone. And Pete, our electrician, is here busily putting on the new ones and getting everything ready. So a bit dark that way around. Yeah, so it'll be nice when it's a little bit brighter in the kitchen again. I'm looking forward to that. So we're making progress. We've got one light up and almost ready to go, and one more to go. So that's what the lights will look like. And I got my car back and it's all good. It's not making horrible noises anymore and it's a lot more pleasant to drive. And we have lights. So we've got bright white at the kitchen end and warm white in the living room end. So anyway, bulbs can be changed, but it's definitely a lot brighter in here, which is wonderful. So many thanks to the wonderful Pete for helping us out again. Have a look. Yeah, anyway, I'm, perhaps share the details below in case anyone is ever looking for a good electrician. It's all happening today. Ooh, excuse me. So I've given you updates on the spinning wheel, on the socks in recent times, on the garden, and yes, the wine that I started off a few weeks ago was ready to go into the demijohns. So maybe, no, not even that, maybe a couple of weeks max anyway. So it was a bit slow fermenting because the weather was so cold this year. But anyway, it's all going well. So I haven't filmed it this time, but I've decanted the first 2 lots of wine into the demijohns, and then fingers crossed I might be able to do another batch a bit later in the season. So there they are. So we've got the elderflower and the honeysuckle. So as you can probably see, they're fermenting quite slowly now, so I'm not getting many gloops, but they are glooping. And they smell like wine and everything, so quite pleased with the progress on that. So, and then the next job, apart from cooking tea, is carrying on with clearing out the box room, which has been a long outstanding job, but I've got a little bit more time. Hi everyone. I've had a lovely afternoon in the sunshine in the garden. I've been weeding and enjoying watching the plants that are coming into flower and the seasons changing. It's been really lovely. I've got a rather cheeky, impatient little rasher. Just bear with me a moment. So there you go. She's grabbed a treat and run. Bless her. Right, so there's been a lot going on today. So I've had the new lights fitted, which are up there, as you can see, and so they'll feature more a bit later, I'm sure. So I'm just cooking tea at the moment. So I'm just boiling up the potatoes for the fish pie. I've got the other fish pie ingredients ready to go. So it's just like a quick and simple tea on the way there. And I said a couple of times there was some interest from a couple of people in how I would make bread pudding. So I have got the recipe that's following my traditional farmhouse cookbook. So it would normally be so I'm doing half proportions because we're not trying to feed a family here. I mean, not a huge family. So it'll be 4 ounces of bread into breadcrumbs, a 1/4 pint of milk, and then it should have been a combination of mixed fruit, chopped peel, suet, sugar and spices, and a beaten egg. Anyway, I was thinking actually when I went to start getting the ingredients out of the fridge, I've still got left over some Christmas mincemeat, which is very similar ingredients, and I don't like to waste anything. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to make my Sandra makes bread pudding with leftover mincemeat and see how that turns out. I imagine it'll be quite nice actually, but we'll give it a whirl and see. So bear with me, I'm just going to finish the tea first so it's ready at a reasonable time. But I'm going to make a start. So I've got some of the ingredients here to make a start, and then the first job will be I'm just going to use a food processor just to turn the bread into breadcrumbs, and then you want to soak that with the milk and then mix in the other ingredients and the egg and then pop it in the oven. And then I've got the oven on for the fish pie anyway, so again, rather than wasting heat in the oven, we can pop it straight in along with the fish pie. So that's my plan, and we'll see how it turns out. So yeah, looking forward to trying that. A little bit of a treat for my holiday week off. See you soon. Lovely. So the fish pie's in the oven. Lee doesn't eat fish, so I've done this separate. That's all fine. So I'm ready to crack on. So I've got my breadcrumbs, with my, I've used wholemeal bread because I prefer that. I've got my scant quarter pint of milk. I'm going to beat in the egg into the milk, add that to the dry breadcrumbs, and then just mix in enough Christmas mincemeat until I get a nice texture. And pop it in the dish and pop it in the oven. And then just a long slow cook on that. So hopefully it'll turn out okay. Fingers crossed. Right, so it's all ready to go now. So it's quite a small amount, so it would have fitted in the cassourie if I wasn't already using the big oven, but I've got the fish pie in the big oven. So I'm going to put this in as well. So there she is, all ready. So I just put a little sprinkling of brown sugar to finish off the top. And so that's my little twist on homemade bread pudding. And it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And I will share that with you at the end. And we'll see how it turned out. So I'm just going to pop it in the oven for now. And it's been a really busy day here so far. So I've got a bit of washing up to do. And then I'm going to put my feet up for 5 minutes and we'll see how it turns out. Fabulous. So Neil should be home any time now. And so the fish pie is all ready. The bread pudding is now cooked. And I'm just going to go have a quick little taste. See how it's turned out. So it's just only a small scale pudding just to try. So I've just taken a little corner, just to have a taste, and still warm as well. That's very tasty. I would definitely try that again. Yeah, it's pretty nice. No idea whether Neil will like it, but I like it anyway. So it's good doing the scaled down version because yeah, not that I would eat it all at once, but even if I save it, if there's only me eating it, I'm not going to want like a huge great big one, clearly. So yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that anyway. And then you can do it with just normal dried ingredients, mix them all together and just cook it really slowly. I think if I was starting with dried fruit etc, I might just soak it a little bit before popping it in the oven just to make sure the fruit's nice and plump and juicy like this. But yeah, quite pleased with that. So thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, fantastic. We really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please do give us a like and a thumbs up, and pop some comments below. We always like to read your comments, so please do comment as well. Got a little Rasher here. You gonna say hello, Rasher? Fancy Rasher, hello. You got a treat earlier on from Pete the electrician, didn't you? Because you didn't like his hat, did you? So we gave him a treat to give to you, to bribe you, and it worked, didn't it? One drumstick. Yeah. They're very chewy. Yeah. There you go. Fabulous. So yes, it's been quite a day. So we're going to be fairly busy for the next few days. But yeah, we'll catch up in about a week or so's time. So hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'm going to say ta-ra for now, and see you on the next Sandra Makes and Bakes. Bye for now.